What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Scuttlebutt with Ivey's family Factotum. It's actually afternoon, so normally I would say top of the morning to you, but guess what? It's not morning. It's actually afternoon. Kiddo's already back from school. It's that late in the afternoon. And I'd actually seen that, well, I've been out here basically all morning, and we'll kind of get back to doing that, but I want to walk down the road a little bit because I want to try to see. So I don't know if you can tell. I mean, it's like smoky. So it's windy. Hopefully the wind's not going to pick up too bad on here. I still don't have, like a lavalier type mic system that works with this phone or my DJI. So, yeah. But right now, our county has been under a burn ban. And this morning, or basically all day, I've only went inside to get kind of like a late lunch, and then finished the uploading and stuff like that of a video over on the main channel. It's going to be coming out Friday. And then, basically finishing that up, and then I decided I wanted to come back out to kind of finish up doing a little bit of work, and then obviously talk to y'all doing this. But I step outside, I was like, oh man, somebody's burning. But this possibly could be too, because of the wind direction, fires that are over in Oklahoma. So we are fairly close to the Oklahoma border, and so with the wind direction of how stuff's going, this possibly could be coming from there too, but I don't know. So I did want to kind of step out here because the end of our driveway is open. So obviously our neighbor, has more of an open field, so it's a little easier to see, longer distance type stuff. And just try to see what's going on. If I can try to tell, where's it coming from, what's it doing. I don't really have, I can't tell. So, but yeah, anyway, I just wanted to come out here and try to see if I can see anything, which I can't, other than the same thing I see over here. But I don't know. Do not know. Until the day that I can get up on the top of the ridge and be able to clear that out, some up there, that way we have a little bit better view, long distance views, or longer distance views, I guess. Then, yeah, still gotta just guess and look online and do whatnot. So, yesterday's video, I had briefly talked about stuff that happened in the Navy, and I said that I can do that storyline, that if someone wanted to leave me a comment, if they wanted to hear it, all it took is at least one person, like, hey, and someone did comment saying that they love story time. All right, cool. So, I have a few of them, but I'll kind of go to my last command. So altogether, I'll say altogether, I served on 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Four ships. So for my rate, I was a Fire Controlman, FC. So no, I'm not a firefighter. Just about everybody in the Navy was a firefighter for the most part, right? But the damage controlmen were the firefighters. So for us, a Fire Controlman, we were weapon systems, right? So I worked on a Sea-Wiz, close-in weapon system, and that was my primary NEC until a little bit later. But anyway, short story long, I get to my final command. First off, I told my detailer that, hey, this is going to be, and which I had to go back to C for my final command, which kind of stinks, right? Is obviously, when you know that you're going to be retiring and that you do not plan on staying in longer, you don't really want to go certain places, right? And going back to C is one of them. But if you have to go back to C, you would rather be able to choose, a decent command of where you would like to go. Well, normally you have what's called a dream sheet, right? That you fill out. And I'm going to come over here to the shop. And, I like that. I'm not going to show you all that yet. But, let me see if I can't set you down. Because my arm's getting tired. So let's set you up there. All right, is that good? Yeah, that's good. So obviously I went to my last command and I filled out the dream sheet of where I wanted to go, and that's just it. It's a dream sheet, right? It's not a guaranteed sheet. So whenever I filled it out, I put in there, and then they have like a little sentence. So I basically put all the commands that I was willing to go or that I wanted to go to, and then they put down at the very bottom, per se, it's like, well, where's something that you definitely do not want to go? And basically the only thing I said is, I do not want to go to a carrier. That was it. I don't care where I went as long as I did not go to a carrier. Well, my recruiter or my person, the detailer, right? That's the word I was looking for. My detailer was an asshole. And a lot of people knew that he was an asshole. And he would always send people to that place. So if you said, I don't want to go here, which if I would have known before the fact that this person did these things, that I probably would have tried to do like a reverse psychology type thing, saying, hey, don't send me to an amphib. I do not want to go to an amphib. And then he would send me to an amphib, right? So from what I heard is that this person really would take like whatever the least thing somebody wanted, and that's where he would send them, right? So, and that's basically what I said. I did not want to go to a carrier, and he ended up sending me there. So the thing is, right, the only saving grace to this was that carrier was in a yard availability. So we didn't have to go out to sea. Basically, the whole time that I was there, we were in port, but it was in the yards, right? Nobody likes being in the yards because it's dirty, it's long hours, it's it's just it's the flow of the ship gets disturbed because they're working on this. You can't go there or you can't do this because they're right, and it's a headache. So the thing with that is they sent me to a place that I didn't want to go, and then upon getting there, now the thing is, right, my two commands prior to going here to my last command is what had already set my mind that I was not staying in the military, that I was ready to retire, right? I had 18 months to retirement before I got there. So that last tour was only 18 months. That's all I had to do. But I was already mindset because of the other places that I was at, right? And I can talk about those other commands at some other time. I'm talking about this one right now. So you kind of already see like my mindset of where I'm at, right? So whenever I get there, my very first day checking in, I end up having to stay late into the night because I had to escort a chief, well, not necessarily the chief, but I had to escort a lot of the folks in my own division that I was checking into because they were all going to Captain's Mast for fraternization and a few other things, right? Well, here I am. I'm just getting my papers signed. I'm just checking in. Don't know any of these people. I don't even know the layout of the ship. I've never been to a carrier a day in my life. I don't even know where to go, right? So now I'm having to escort them to different places and making sure that they get there. So first off the bat of, foot in the door, boom, I get slammed with this stuff. And here I am already in that mindset that, hey, I hate the military, and I'm not staying any further than I need to. I'm getting out. So, boom, they hit me with that, right? And yeah, I was not happy. I was not happy at all. Well, seeing how that our chief, which normally our division normally had 2 chiefs, but during that time there was only 1 chief, I guess. So because of that, since he got in trouble, they ended up giving us a temporary chief, right? Basically from another division, another department. Well, same department, but a different division. So we were all FCs, ETs. So ETs and FCs in our division. And then we ended up getting an ITC chief. Female. Not that it has anything to do with male or female, but she was kind of a little bit of a hard ass. People didn't really care for her too much. And whenever I first talked to her and sat down, she basically said, well, I'm here to do this. I'm here to do that. It's temporary, yada, yada. She's like, I'm going to need you to do this, do that, do this, do that. And I'm like, time out, hold, check, right? All these things. I was like, first off, and these are the exact words I said. First off, Chief, I just got here. That's what I said. I was like, because this is like the next day, right? I was like, time out, hold, chalk. I was like, Chief, I just got here. I was like, one, I'm still getting checked in, which I had to kind of go through INDOC and a few other things, right? So I was like, and I told her, and second, I'm here for 18 months. I'm here to retire. That's it. Plain and simple, right? So, and I kind of already told her what, how I was feeling and stuff like that. Well, she didn't care for that too much. And even though I was in that division for a little bit, it got to the point where when we did get another chief in, she kind of did the whole turnover thing with that. And, well, she ended up, advancing. So she went from chief to senior chief, right? And advancing. And we ended up getting another chief there. And then, obviously, they were communicating and doing all kinds of stuff. Well, I guess said person or persons didn't like my attitude and kind of what was going on. So, because I was not willing to go above and beyond. I said, I'm going to do what work I need to do. I'm not going above and beyond to get any type of qualifications. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Basically is what I said. And they didn't care for that too much. So, me being at this point, right around 19-year first class, they said, okay, well, we need someone from our division to go down to the mess decks to take over as one of the section leaders. Because they're reporting starboard on the mess decks during the time that we were there, right? Which basically means that it's what they always call it nickel and dime. So if you've ever been in the military, you already know what port and starboard means. Nickel and dime in it. So it's like a 2 days on, 1 day off type thing, but you also have a half day and just, yeah, it's long hours, 24-hour shifts, and yeah, it's horrible, right? A lot of people do not like it. So for me, I never had, and they call that cranking, right? As you're going down, normally it's a 6-month temporary duty that you're going and doing that and you're coming back. So here I am, right? I still have, what is it? A year left on my contract, give or take, because I was able to take some time off, right? So with retiring or stuff like that, you have leave days and different things like that you can kind of take off early. So during the time, I was actually down on the mess decks longer than I was with my actual division, right? So I'll just say that out of the 18 months that I was there, 16 months. So whenever they sent me down there, for one, it was filling an E5 billet, not an E6 billet. So I was the only E6 down there doing this role. and they put me in charge of one of the sections, right? That was kind of in charge of the other people that were there. Well, I ended up going to work for the mess decks, which ends up being other chiefs, other master chiefs, other people, right? It's a completely different department. They're part of supply. So as I'm down there, right, they start talking. Their chiefs start talking. I'm pretty sure they went and talked to my chiefs and stuff like that, just try to get, why is this person down here? Especially at a 19-year first class, right? And it's the first time I ever had to go cranking. So I'm pretty sure that they all communicated and stuff like that. And I did that for a little bit. And then finally, I sat down with their master chief. And he basically came up to me. So they were looking for an LPO, which was leading petty officer, right? And that's kind of what I was doing in my other division. But I told him I don't want to do that, right? That's not what I was there to do. Even though that was the billet that I was filling, I was not willing to put in the extra work that they wanted me to do. And since they didn't like it, they sent me cranking. Well, as I was sitting here talking to this master chief, he's like, well, this is what we need, because they had a lot of first classes, but none of them wanted to do the job, right? So they were looking, and he's like, well, you're down here. He's like, I can give you the job, and you'd be coming off of, so I'd only be like a Monday through Friday type thing, and I'd only be working days. No duty section, to where I didn't have to stand duty, and then I just came in Monday through Friday, made sure everybody was doing the work that they're supposed to do during the days of transfer, whenever they're going from port to starboard or starboard to port sections, making sure that they're getting a very good turnover, and then also, helping with inspections and just all these different things like that. And I was like, sure. I was like, I can do that. And, well, at first, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, I'm fine doing what I'm doing. But then he told me, right, that it's only a Monday through Friday, it's during the days, and that it's duty free. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's a lot better than what I'm doing. So sure, I'll go ahead and do that. And I was like, well, Master Chief, I was like, what else do you need me to do? He's like, you're here to retire, right? And I was like, yes, Master Chief. He's like, okay. He's like, well, enjoy your coffee. I was like, excuse me? I was like, I didn't know what he's talking about. He's like, I don't need you to do anything. He's like, just enjoy your coffee. So basically for my last, I want to say it was like 4 months, right? I didn't do nothing. I sat down, drank coffee. I'd get up, I would inspect a few things. I was making sure that the people were working and doing things that they needed to do. And once I got done doing that, I go sit back down and I drink coffee, watch TV. I did nothing because of that Master Chief. So yeah, at the end of that, being a little bit of rebellious. So yeah, I was already at that point in my career and in my headspace of F the world, right? I was done with all of it just because of stuff. So there's a lot of people that have really, really good experiences in the military, and there's people that have not so good experiences in the military. And I was one of those folks because of the commands I was at. And for me, right, to advance to higher up stuff, like the chief levels or anything like that, right? Everything in the Navy is based off of your evaluation, kind of, but it's based off of your test-taking skills, right? Because everything's a test. So I can tell you right now, me advancing through the ranks, I was always in one of those rates that was overmanned. So even acing, like I can ace the test with a perfect score and still not advance because I didn't have enough points, right? Because I wasn't in long enough, or I wasn't this, or I wasn't that. So it was always a challenge, advancing through the ranks, during the time that I was in. And then for me, being able to take the Chiefs test, kind of the same thing. It's like I had every single wicket that anybody was ever looking for. I had all of the the test scores that were needed. I had all of, the surface warfare, air warfare, like any of those things that you're supposed to have, right? I went on an IA. I had this. I had that. I did instructor duty. I did this. All these things that I had, it's where whenever you're going before a chief review is, they look for all these things, right? And they'll kind of compare you to other people, right? Which is horrible that they do stuff like that. But they're comparing you this person to this person. It's like, all right, well, what all does he have and what all does he have? Well, during all these times that I was taking those tests, right, I was always had 100% of those wickets that they were looking for. I just never got advanced. So whatever it was, whatever it wasn't, I don't know. It just, whenever it came down to that, I never put on chief. Well, some of the circumstances that I had to go through of the commands that I was at, based off of perception or other things, right? Other things that had happened, it put a really sour taste in my mouth, and I did not have a good experience during my time. And then whenever they sent me to that final ship, and I had to go through that stuff, on my first day, and then getting sent down to the mess decks, I was just like, man, I am so over this stuff. But everything works out for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I still retired. I still get paid. I still had to go through the VA just like everybody else to get all of my disabilities. And now I'm here working on my homestead and talking to y'all about this stuff, right? So, yeah, that's it. That's kind of the story of my last command that I went to. And it was not a dream walk until the very, very end because of a certain Master Chief that was a people person. And I love him for it. So I thank you, Master Chief. I highly doubt he's ever going to watch this. But yeah, it is what it is. And even though I didn't want to go there, things happen. All right. Well, we definitely thank y'all for joining in on the journey today and stick around for my Navy story. Try not to show what's behind me in the shop because you're not allowed to see that yet. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna get back to doing what I was doing back here, kind of clean up some of my stuff. I gotta put a chainsaw away and things. I was making some man glitter. All right, y'all. Well, we definitely thank you for following in. Like I said, once again, share us out, help us grow. That way we can give back to our veteran community. If you're new here and you made it this far, leave us a comment down below. We always like to see every single comment. I do try to reply to every single comment that we always get. So, good or bad or ugly, I don't know. Comment is a comment is a comment. I prefer them to be good other than bad. But it does happen. And then other than that, that's it. So, yeah, I guess if you like to stick around a little bit further, YouTube always suggests that you watch this video right here. And then, yeah, get out there, thank a veteran every chance you get. Not only on Veterans Day. And we will see you on the next one. Ooh, man glitter. Later, y'all.